Yeah.
All right, we are on. Ready for DTK 8-4 draft. This is Charging Badgers. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Brian.
And we are live from Madison, Wisconsin. And yeah, ready for a DTK. We're going to do 8-4s this week, starting this week. Hopefully we don't get crushed too bad, but Brian and I are both feeling pretty confident with the format and are pretty confident in our abilities as players. So we're going to open a foil Dragon Lord Ojutai and immediately this is okay.
Yeah.
Reserve it now before we get disconnected.
Yep.
Because this is going to pay for all. This is the way you start an 8-4 essentially.
Yep.
So this is not only one of the best cards in limited to open, but it is a foil and probably worth 25 or 30 tickets.
I have no idea.
It literally probably is. So we are going to slam dunk that. So this is actually looking to be a pretty good pack too.
Yeah.
So we've got Ojutai. Arashin Foremost is a rare, which is a 2/2 double striker. Atarka Ifrit is probably more of a middle of the pack card, but one I do like. Sarkhan's Rage is probably another very good card that I would consider taking first pick. If the Ojutai was not here, I think it would be the Arashin Foremost and then probably Sarkhan's Rage.
Yep.
Same way. I saw someone pass. I was watching a draft earlier today, and they had like a third pick Sarkhan's Rage, and they were red, and they passed it, and I was like, Sarkhan's Rage is so good at finishing the game and dealing with just about any threat that you always want one or two in your deck. Like you can pass the third one because it costs 5 mana, but we're going to take our foil Dragon Lord Ojutai and be happy with it.
Did they talk about why they passed it?
They took something weird. Something weird over it.
Oh, man.
Well, all right. This is another very good pack.
This is...
Brian, if you want to chime in at any point, feel free.
Yeah.
I think that... So, cards that would be worth taking at this point are Epic Confrontation, but we are not going to take that. Cunning Breeze Dancer, or Pacifism. What would be your preference between the Breeze Dancer and the Pacifism?
I would take the Breeze Dancer.
I would take the Pacifism.
Okay.
So why? I think both are justifiable.
Yeah. I think,
and I'm not even saying I'm right. I'm just saying that.
the thing I feel about the Breeze Dancer is that it's very strong. It's a finisher.
It's a very good card.
I feel like even though we're blue white, which kind of sucks to pick. Two cards, and we're then sending a white signal. I think that just the highest upside is if we can manage to run both these. And pacifism. Okay,
you're driving, so I'm going to let you pick what you want. I would cut the pacifism because I try to secure up one of those two colors. But with that said, all right. So we are being passed white. I think is a pretty clear signal here.
We could actually run an orange. If we get a blue-white, we could run that with a straight face. I don't know if we want to go that deep.
So here's the thing.
Yep.
But what are the best cards in the pack are probably the single best card in the pack is Enduring Victory, in my opinion.
You think so? Okay.
In my opinion,
even better than the Elk card?
I'm not a big fan of the Elk card. We'll talk. Maybe we can talk. Let's come back to the Elk card at some point. I don't dislike it, but we can talk about it. I think Enduring Victory is the single best card. However, in our current situation, we have a 5 and a 6 already. We probably don't want more than a couple more. We can probably pick up an Enduring Victory, another 5 or 6 drop later. I actually would pick the Orator here. I think it is the card we want. The only
thing I'm worried about is sending signal. Is that
I understand it could wheel. So how do you feel?
I'm going to grab the Victory. Okay. I think that you're absolutely right. I would just like to try and cut at either white or blue if we can.
Okay. All right. So the best cards in this pack are Salt Road Quartermasters. I've seen some people like Volcanic Vision, but I don't think we're going to go into it. It's a red sweeper. It deals. It can wipe out your opponent's board. It does cost 7. So the question is, would we take Quartermasters because it's the single best card, or would you take something like Dromoka Warrior?
I'm torn, honestly.
I think we have such a strong incentive to play blue white that I would take the Dromoka Warrior because it trades early. I actually think it's an okay card. It might even get in there for 3 damage.
I think it's a fine card. I just know that if we have to, seems like green is open and green. I think is a card
green and white are open.
That allows for splashing if we wanted to splash something instead of play it straight up. But if we can cut white, I think. We start with 2 big dragons. Let's get greedy.
All right, so here we have a pretty easy interceptor.
Wow. Okay.
So that's great. I actually think the Ojutai Monument would be our second pick here.
Yeah. Yep.
So Ojutai Interceptor is a great flyer. Great for dealing damage for our deck. Ojutai Monument. It would actually be a nice card since we already have a 5 and a 6 that we want to play and in our colors. But I do think we want to take the Interceptor over. The Monument might even wheel depending on what other people are doing.
This makes me happy because I was worried that we were getting really cut in blue, and this could be a blurb.
It could be a blurb. I've seen that in this format a fair amount. But all right. So there's actually a few decent cards left in this pack. Green continues to be semi-open with a Glade Watcher. Evolving Wilds is always nice for a splash. The Ambuscade, the black 2/2. It's a card I like, but it's certainly not for us if we were in a more aggressive black-red dash deck. So my personal opinion it would come down to Champion or Updraft Elemental. How do you feel about those?
My actually for me it comes down to Champion and Evolving Wilds.
Okay.
Because Evolving Wilds would be the safer pick in case we think that we're going to get kicked out of one of these two colors. I honestly think that we're still getting enough playables, and we've cut blue pretty hard, if not white, that we should get enough playables that we can stick in these two colors. Okay. I'm just not a huge fan of the Updraft Elemental.
I'm not, but it is a defensive 3-drop that we could drop to get to our dragons.
I don't think that any of these cards are really great for us.
So, best cards in the pack would be Shambling Goblin Marsh Hulk. Pinion Feast is a sideboard card. Some people, I want to like Storm Rider Rig, but I've never actually run it, and I've never seen it run that well. Glaring Aegis is pretty good in a super aggressive deck where you can want to tap down at something, but I don't think it's the card for us. Yeah. If it drew a card, I think it would be something we'd be interested in, but it doesn't. So actually, I would take the Meditation.
Okay, and I'm taking Meditation. I don't intend to... If the deck keeps going like this, I don't know if we'll end up playing it.
I agree.
But it does seem like if we go deep on the spells deck, that's what we're going to want to have picked.
Okay, so we are still seeing blue and white cards, which is great. The 3 best cards in the Plague are Tread Upon... Well, there's actually a 4th one I would play too. Scream Breach Brawler, which is not for us. So it's between, for us, this Charger and
do we want to be aggressive or defensive of what we're choosing right now?
True. We already have 5 of our 6 cards as creatures. The Ojutai's Breath does help get through at the end.
I like that.
I'm not a huge fan of the Sandstorm Charger. Initially, when the format came out, I thought it was going to be a better card than it actually is. So I think I would probably take the Ojutai's Breath here.
Me too.
It works really well with the Cunning Breeze Dancer as well. So this is our opening pack. Green continues. Green is still the best. So green has been characterized as the worst color in the set, so it's not really a surprise that it is kind of open. I don't think the Dragon Eye Sentry is really playable at all. I mean, maybe it is against some super aggro.
Yeah, I would say I kind of want to give the rig a try. I feel like a flyer.
I think we can grab it here and see what happens. We may not run it.
Yep.
We don't really have any synergies with that. I
don't think. But what else are we going to... I mean...
I would either take the Nemesis or the Fate Forgotten, I think. I think the chances of running Scale... I don't think we... Scale Blessings either... I think we're either going to be in a deck where you main deck it or it never comes in, whereas either of those 2 cards may come in at some point.
Sure.
So I would probably take... I'll leave it up to you. Either of those.
I'll take the Fate Forgotten.
And board it. Yes.
Yay.
Border came
Good
back.
call.
So I think that's actually a great card for us. I actually like the Negate too, but with Double Dragon already, I think this is a fine pickup for us. Cut white. Neither of those other cards is really playable. Resupply is okay.
It could, I mean...
Could be a card and Jamoka Monitor.
I don't mind that. If Greens is open, there's a chance that we pick up something.
Maybe we can pick up a Dragon or Jamoka.
Sure. How are you feeling so far?
It doesn't matter. We opened a foil Dragon Lord or Jutai, so it really, this draft is paid for.
Sure,
so.
But...
Actually, the deck looks great. I've always talked about trying to run a blue-white deck. That's like tempo-y. Scott, I like where we are. Okay, we've got... I think we have a lot of choices here. The last card is a land, I'm assuming, just so we don't miss anything.
Yep.
I'm going to let you take over this pack. I'm going to let you take the lead.
So things I see are Artful Maneuver, the Drowner, and the Elusive Spellfist are kind of the ones that jump out to me in our colors.
Okay.
The Drowner would normally... I would just slam that.
Okay.
However, we are a little bit high in the 4/5 drop. I guess resupply probably doesn't count. We also don't have any synergy of things to sack.
Okay.
I'm kind of looking at this Spellfist.
Like the Spellfist.
Because it has the hold the ground plan, but then it also can get through for some extra damage.
Yes, I am 100% on the Spellfist.
Sweet. Again, here I think it's pretty... in our colors, there's the Interceptor, and the Drowner are probably the two that I'd consider playing. Maybe the Void Squall if we had more synergies. But the Interceptor is just clearly better. Do you have any objections?
So I do think Interceptor's the pick. One other card I think is worth mentioning is the Dragon Hunter. I actually think 1-drops that have 2 power are okay in this set. That one particularly, having protection from dragons and able to block dragons, I do think is a very good card. Yep. I think the Interceptor is the right pick for our deck.
Yeah, I'm happy to see another Interceptor come around. Huh.
And I think this pick for us is pretty obvious. How do you feel?
I don't see an obvious pick.
Artful Maneuver.
Okay.
Combat Trick.
Yeah, good. I thought you were trying to say that the Living Lore was an obvious choice. I'm like, I don't think that's very...
No.
Okay.
I didn't say it was a good card. I just think the choice was obvious.
Sure. Pacifism still here?
Yes, we want the pacifism.
There's also this Student of Ojutai. I'd pull that out. Black is going around pretty good.
Well, black got cut from us. So
as long as we're not...
cut black's getting rewarded, yep.
As long as we're not... we're still getting rewarded for being in our colors. Right. I'm not going to...
too much, so we actually have a very good deck right here. So no matter what happens, we're good.
Well, don't say that.
Oh, we are. I mean, there's no real fault here in anything we do. We've drafted. I think it's very easy to say we have drafted the right.
What do you think here? Spell Eater or Reduce in Stature are the two that are popping out at me.
What would you pick?
Probably the Spell Eater.
I 100% agree.
Sweet. Whoa! I think we were right on in cutting blue. White, maybe not so much, though we did just pick up a pacifism. But man, our Air Force is getting fierce.
Yep, I'm in. I wouldn't mind getting 1 negate if we could.
I'm looking at a Student or a Lore Master here.
So what spells do we have that we could potentially get with Lore Master? Artful Maneuver, Pacifism, non-creature, non-land. So Pacifism, Ojutai's Breath.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good late game. We do have a lot to do with our mana. I actually can't tell you which one's better. Which one I would pick.
I'm gonna go with Ojutai. I'm just thinking that the way that we lose is
super aggro.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this guy, I feel like if we're getting to the late game, we already have a pretty darn good plan, and we are using, we have a lot of mana sinks right now.
Okay, yeah, we do. I mean, those Interceptors going from 3 to 4, those are cards that if we're not playing against red and Twin Bolts and things like that, we may be incentivized to, play 1 as a morph and the second turn just play a 3-1. We're gonna have to be careful.
Yeah, we
with
can't get
not
too
trying
greedy.
to maximize the value out of them and making them always a 4-2. That's part of being disciplined and being a good player.
Well, it's between a Territorial Rock and an Updraft Elemental.
Yep.
How important is 1 toughness?
4 is pretty good in this format.
4 is pretty good in this format.
So I would I would definitely side with the Updraft Elemental. And I think our 2s are pretty good right now.
Sure.
If we had like 2 2-drops and we're all
sort of.
3.
I mean, on the other hand, this we don't want to play on 2.
It's not on 2.
This we don't want to play on 2.
But we can.
Yeah.
And we have 3 2-drop creatures, and I don't think this is our Storm Rider rig deck.
No.
So I think that we should be looking to board that.
Maybe. Oh wow, the Angler came back to us. We want that over Void Squall.
You know what? I actually kind of like the Void Squall here. If the other Drowner came, so there's another Void Squall and another Drowner coming potentially. The question is, which one would you rather have the first one of? In this deck, we already have a 4 for a 2/4. We don't have card draw, I guess. So, but I don't know.
I'm gonna take.
I would personally pick the Void Squall.
Sure. Talk me into it.
And that's fine. Pick
now
up.
we can hedge on our.
Yep.
See, this is.
I would either is Glint better for us? Do you think to try to dodge some removal?
By the time we're holding up mana for this, how often do we not have 5 and we're just holding up for anything?
But I actually like Glint here myself. I feel like contradict. I'll leave it up to you.
Sure.
I think we can talk about this pick a little bit more at some point, but we have 3 seconds. Tapestry.
Just in case.
Whoa, wow, Zephyr Scribe? Sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Yeah, that one's fine. I don't think... I've never seen anyone play
I have seen somebody play a Felton Shriek against me.
So we have... you were asking...
Oh, Tapestry was...
Tapestry, what is... I don't even know what
it's... If you play a non-creature spell, draw a card. That's for if our deck goes off goes in a strange direction from here, which I don't think it'll go, but I don't think we're going to play either of those. But
So you asked how I felt at the end of Pack 1. I felt pretty good. I mean, this is a great deck.
Now I feel very good.
I feel very good about it. So hopefully we can just shore it up here in Pack 3 with some good cards and go from there. All right.
We might be able to get away with Nugan's Construct. Because we have these are all morphs. I guess never mind.
This is pretty weak pack for us.
This is
we don't have any black cards in the board that we look to splash with the Scoured Barons.
No.
So I don't think we can run the Construct reliably enough.
Yeah.
And that this format's aggressive enough that we can't say have a 2-drop, skip it for 2 turns to play the Construct first. So I would probably just take the Dragon Bell Monk.
I mean, we're at 19 playables
try
right
to
now.
get a black card?
I'm just
okay.
Yeah,
I don't hate it.
Oh, this guy
Misfire
really good.
Misfire Adept
Yeah.
is the pick.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. But this guy is a problem for us.
Not on the fleet pacify him.
It's true.
Or Ujutai's Breath him.
Wow, this is I wouldn't mind seeing
victoring him.
Yeah, I would not mind seeing this guy come back. But this guy's just awesome. I wish we would have gotten some of what's it called? Tarragon Strike or whatever.
I think Will of the Naga is a card we definitely are interested in playing main deck.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. I think it's not only that it's the best card for us, and it's a card we would 100% of the time run one of. Yeah.
2 of those in a row. Well, you were talking about 2 power 1 drops.
Yep.
Otherwise, the Whisk Away or a Soul Summons. Those are all things that reach out to me.
I think this deck I would play the Whisk Away.
I would second that.
I think it's the best card in our colors.
Yep.
I mentioned the 2 power 1 drop before.
Mm-hmm.
Our deck is a little less aggressive and a little more tempo based.
Yep.
And so I definitely think Whisk Away is what the card we'd be looking for here.
This might be actually. Do we have enough non-creatures?
That's so much. I would Enhanced Awareness, Soul Summons, Dragon Bell Monk. We have 7 spells for Dragon Bell Monk, which is okay.
I'm just not impressed with Dragon Bell.
A 2-drop is probably okay. The other card I would pick, I would actually take Soul Summons or Enhanced Awareness.
Yeah, that's kind of where I fall too. I feel like we have enough mana sinks that.
Okay.
Ooh.
Cloud Form is a nice pickup.
Yeah. Wow. 2/2 flying hexproof for 3 at the worst.
Nobody wants these Dragon Bell Monks.
Well, now we do.
Rakshasa, the Weaponsmith isn't really for us.
Nope.
Yeah. Dragon
How
Bell
many
Monk.
how many vials of Dragonfire do you need before you play
2.
Is that?
It's not that good. I don't think it starts for us right now.
Okay.
It's a dragon for our
It is
order. For our order,
Yeah.
guess. But I don't think it starts for us.
But
we actually may not run the order. We'll see. We'll have to look at it.
Yeah, we'll take a look. Yeah, that's a more defensive. And the problem is in this scenario where we would sideboard that guy in, we'd probably be sideboarding out the.
We have at least one way to kill an artifact or enchantment right now. I don't think I'd run the Abzan advantage. I'd probably cut something here, Macedon or Grim Contest.
If Grim Contest is still here, I'm going to guess there's not really a black-green player. Or he's greedy.
Nothing wrong with greed. What about Ruthless Instinct? That seems pretty good.
Sure, we can axe that. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that there's too many scenarios where we run an Aven Skirmisher.
Cunning Strike or Mastodon?
I'm going to axe the Mastodon.
Okay.
I mean, I guess actually both. So green.
So let's look at Right. How about Right of Undoing? Return target non-land permanent you control. I think this is a decent sideboard card over Pressure Point.
Sure. It's really nice with pacifism.
It is, yeah. We can pick up our own pacifism, or if someone pacifies one of our thing, we can pick up our guy and
hate the sideboard card against us. Yeah, so
yeah, I mean we have a very good deck here.
Yeah.
It's an 8/4. Anything can happen, but this is a deck you expect to do well with. So we'll see what happens.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think I don't. This is a deck where we took some risks early on, and I think we got rewarded for them, but we could have very easily gotten punished for
we
this
could have
deck. But I'm happy. You know,
I think the biggest difference between the deck you would have drafted versus that we ended up with versus the deck I would have drafted was you have Cunning Breed Answer, and I would have had a second pacifism.
Yeah, which honestly, not that huge of a.
So we need to make 3 cuts. I think I would pull to the side for evaluating would be Order. I would pull to the side Mind Scour Dragon. The Rock is questionable. I don't necessarily smell what the Rock is cooking.
God damn it,
Rock jokes. Actually, let me just take a quick look here. I actually think those could just be the 3. I think Updraft Elemental is significantly enough better than Territorial Rock that we would start it even for the extra mana. I think Dragon Bell Monk actually synergizes well. We're gonna take out 3 creatures, so we're gonna be down to 14 creatures plus soul summons, and then we'd have like 8 or 9 spells, and I think that's very good for Dragon Bell Monk. Makes it very hard for the opponent to really do.
So he's anything. That was just the other guy on the chopping block.
I would say based on what I'm looking at, those definitely are 4 worst cards.
Yeah.
And I think Monk makes the cut over the other ones.
Sure. Yeah. I especially like I guess I like the Monk more when we have like this kind of stuff where we're with rebounds. That
exactly. And we have Ojutai's Breath and Void Squall for rebounds as well.
The only consideration, and again, this is just me playing devil's advocate, would be if we want to sideboard or like start. Whoops.
Brian's having problems.
Yes. There we go. Start with a deck that's better against aggressive decks, or start with one that's better against defensive decks, or just kind of do what we're doing now, which I think straddling the 2.
Yep.
I think that straddling the 2 is kind of the way to go, because I don't think we're just straight dead to either of those decks.
No, I think I like this deck a whole lot.
Me too.
No, cancel. You have to take those 3 cards out.
You have to take those 3 cards.
Now, add basics. So what we want to do here, we probably want 9 blue. Double on. We have. I think we have more blue cards
because this is,
and we have double blue on Cloud Form.
Yeah, because I mean this is up here.
We have a couple of white cards we want to cast early, but for the most part, and 9/8 I think is 9/8 in favor of Island.
Yeah, that seems good to me. You could talk me into a 10/7 honestly, but probably
I think it's a little too risky. But
yeah.
Again, the only thing we really risk on they suggest 10/7, but I would run 9 because I think if you getting one of each is critical. The only thing you really miss out on by missing in the second blue is Cloud Form, which is fine.
Yeah, and that's you can drop that later.
Yeah. So I'm pretty happy with this deck. Yeah. Even it is an 8/4, so like I always say, you can just mull the 5, and be done.
But we won't.
But this is a deck that I'm happy to draft.
I've never actually played this guy, so I haven't actually read.
Ojutai? Oh, he's pretty gross.
Put one of them in your hand and the rest in the bottom. Nice.
Yeah.
All right, for 5 mana.
Yeah.
All right. Sold. Let's see how it does. Yeah, so my grabbing the Tapestry of the Ages was a mistake. My thought on it was, well, we already have a fair amount of rebound, and that becomes really good with rebound. What if we pick up some more rebound?
Where did we take that? I don't remember.
We took it like going out of the second pack.
Did we have an actual card?
No, we didn't. We were picking between.
There were a couple cards we could have picked.
Yeah,
okay-ish.
Yeah, I don't think that any of them would have made the cut. But it was a mistake because the things that I was considering are not at all relevant to the decision. Man, look at our green side cards that we hated out of green. Frontier Mastodon, Ruthless Instinct.
The green was definitely open. I mean, when I saw some of the analysis coming out of the Pro Tour the last 2 weeks, is basically everyone was really down on green. My personal opinion is it's not bad.
Yeah.
So the couple things about green. Fate Reforged is really bad for green. There's just not a lot of good commons in there. You're looking at like the premium uncommons or rares, but really you're not getting a lot out of the third pack. Also, like, my personal opinion is there's a couple really good green commons that are worth running, like the 2/2 bear that with formidable becomes a 6/6. You can pay 6 mana.
Oh, yep.
5 mana to make him a 6/6. The 3/2 regenerator. And some of the combat tricks and things like that, and be sort of in an aggressive deck that puts a lot of pressure on early, and then as you build out your board, you have the sort of built-in tricks with formidable. I was talking, so I'm gonna plug my friend Frank here for a second, who was in the mocks this weekend and made top 8, which is his first top 8. So congratulations to Frank. Another Madison player, Sam Black, who is one of the pros, took first. So there were 2 Madison players at least in the top 8. Maybe there were more that we don't know of. So Madison, the city, did great, and my friend Frank, I'm super happy for because he's did so well. We were talking a little bit about drafting, and one of the cards that's a strange card in this set is Airy Bowmasters, and it's not that it's a bad card. In fact, it's not. You start it in all your green decks, but in other formats, I feel like it's significantly better. Though I can't exactly explain why. Maybe it's pacifism. Maybe there's more removal, but tapping out for it on 4. Like, you feel like that should stabilize you, and I just don't necessarily feel great when I cast it all the time. I can't explain it. I can't quantify how I feel about the card and say, well, here's an example of when it's great, here's an example of when it's bad. It looks good on paper, but it just, I don't know. It feels like something's missing with red and black being very aggressive in the 2 deepest colors. They have a lot of commons that kill it. A lot of times they just don't care, and they'll just swing into it, coat with venom, and then it's gone.